Okay, this first one comes from, I'll be honest, I don't know.
Did you listen to it before you hit play?
Impossibly guessed. I hope you guys are doing well. Just got a quick question for you tonight. What was it like flying fighters for the first time? The first time you ever went solo, taxied out, took off, hitting the burners for the first time. What were your initial impressions of the jet? And then what did it feel like to have that feeling that, man, I'm a fighter pilot for the first time? Love the show. Thank you guys for your service, and looking forward to more episodes. Thanks.
All right. So I don't know about you guys, but the F-16, the first time I flew, because the first time you fly the F-16 is cool, just in general, because you're like, hey, I'm sitting up a little bit higher than I was in the T-38. You've got more systems, all that stuff, but you've been in the sim. But the first time you go to a single seat jet and you're so used to looking to your right and seeing another seat, but the first time you go to that thing, you're like, this is it. And unlike the Hornet, there's nothing back there. There's no little space or anything like that. Like the Viper ends and it's just the rest of the jet. So canopy, you check it. That's it. There's no more jet. And you get in that jet and you're like, dude, this is an Iron Man suit. I'm now wearing this airplane. There's nobody else. It's just me. I sit down, canopy. Oh, I've got this extra room. And then you light the blower and you're like, holy crap, I'm flying F-16 by myself, with my flight lead. He's up there. I'm back here. I'm alone and unafraid. And I don't know that there is a more memorable time in your career, like we talked about earlier, than the first time that you are single seat. Because you, up to this point, at least for me, you'd flown the T6, which you go solo, it's fine, but it's not the same. You fly the T-38, you go solo, but it's not the same. But you sit in a jet that's designed for one fighter pilot, and it's just a weapon system now. Like flying's not the problem anymore. Now it's about how do I go employ this weapon system? And it is, I don't know. I think it's a cool feeling. I think it's awesome to go to look back and be like, oh, that's the wing now. Because in the Viper, unlimited visibility, you see there, you see behind you. It's just awesome. And then by the time I got to the Hornet, it was just like, okay, I can't wait to get to the single seat version because I don't like having this guy back here. Fellers?
Donkey.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I remember my first flight in the Hornet. Obviously, I was dual. But Mover, you're bringing up a good point. I remember because on the flight line there was two-seaters, T-birds, and there were single-seaters, and I could not wait to fly one of the single-seaters. And I remember very clearly, because as a student, you could fly one of the two-seaters. They just safe up the seat. But it never, I'd look behind, you got the mirrors, I look behind me, I'd be like, this thing's a family model. It's like driving dad's minivan.
Yep.
And I remember, man, getting in the single seat jet, and I remember closing the canopy thinking like, this is it. Like everyone on the base just sees me. Like there's no denying that, like, this ain't no trainer, that like, it's just me. Like I could be the best fighter pilot in the world. I got my mask on, no one could tell. And yeah, man, I remember my first time in a single seat jet going up, and it's strange you say that because you can actually see better behind you in the single seat jet. And I'm thinking I can see completely behind the tails. Like, this is awesome. Yep. And that was a special time, man. And it's kind of like there's something weird about putting on a machine that is designed for just you. It's almost like it's custom made just for you. And I'm not saying the two-seater, I got a lot of time in both. And, now that I'm past the, initial wow factor, they both feel the same. But as a young man, like trying to get to, I want to be a single seat fighter pilot, that was very special. And, it would get a new pair of shoes. I'm like, I swear this thing goes faster. It turns better than the two-seat jet, right? So it was a special time, man. I definitely remember my first single seat. And I can't tell you how far in the syllabus I was, but I know it wasn't like right away because I flew a lot of two-seat jets. I was like, But yeah, it's awesome. I mean,
I think it's
20 years old.
Six rides in the Viper. I think it's maybe 5. Like you go there, you do maybe 5 or 6 rides, and then they chase you after that. And the next time you only fly. Yeah. It's not many. It's not many. And then after that, maybe it is. Maybe it is. It's not many, but after that they chase you, and so your IP is on your wing. So, Wombat,
dude, you can cancel.
There's no chasing in the Navy.
I don't care. I'm gonna say it because while you guys are talking, I'm trying to think of my way to say this politely. It took me 7 years of being a commissioned officer to get my first solo Hornet ride. I was almost 30 when I did it. And up until that point in my life, the coolest thing I'd ever done was sex. And I was wrong after my first solo. Period. I was like, I thought that was the pinnacle of everything. And I was wrong before I even lifted off the ground. So,
dude, there's just something about walking up to a jet that you're used to seeing with 2 seats, and you're used to walking with your IP, and you're like, there's no seat there. No. It's not even, hey, the seat's empty or it's secured. There's nothing. It just, I don't know. I miss
something awesome about man machine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no denying I'm going to this jet by myself. I am in charge right now, at least of my airplane. And then you learn you're not in charge because you don't have it. You're totally other airplanes that you're trying to not hit or all this stuff. And
very quickly did you peak at that point of your invincibility, and then you realize I could die. This is kind of scary. Like, holy crap! Like, what am I doing? There's nobody to back me up anymore. Like.
You started looking forward to flying the family model because that meant you were flying somebody else, and it was usually an incentive ride or a fam flyer, and you're like, I like that. I like sharing this awesome jet with somebody else.
I can imagine that'd be fun.
Like I said,
I did in T-45s, and
after the wow factor.
Yeah,
after the wow factor, they were both awesome.